In October 2020, I did a Freshers' Week comedy gig on Zoom. I'll say that again so the bleakness of it can really fill the auditorium. I did a Freshers' Week comedy gig on Zoom. Pity the freshers of 2020. A tough year to be any age, I think, but particularly to be 18, not getting to finish school with any proper parties or music festivals or holidays. Your exam results jeopardised by the government, and you finally get to university, and it's essentially a full-price prison camp. And yet, to stare into the gallery view of the St Andrews University Freshers' Week Zoom comedy night, it still felt pretty loud and clear like I was the worst bit of the whole thing as far as they were concerned. And I know that because most of them looked quite bored and confused in front of their laptops, and one of them had really voted with his feet by spending the entirety of my 20-minute set on the other side of his kitchen, visibly cooking a risotto. You can't help but take that as something of a slap in the face. Made me feel embarrassed, made me feel old as well, still a relative youthful 31 years old, but never had I felt further removed from the tedious maturity of Gen Z than watching an 18-year-old rustling up a risotto in supposedly the craziest week of his life so far. I'm aware Freshers' Week 2020 had less going for it than previous years, but nonetheless, you're sending a pretty strong message to the rest of the intake when you're crushing your cloves on night 2 on Zoom. While I begged a child to rush his dinner for me. The dignity of the enterprise, saying increasingly desperate things like, couldn't you just pour all the stock in at once? To which he replied, but then it won't cream. Fair play. Another knife to my heart, but undeniably strong cooking advice. I haven't known most of you very long, but I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I would hate for any of your risottos to go uncreamed on my time. I would describe that still as only the second most stressful video conference of my pandemic. The most stressful was in April 2021 when I took part in a podcast that was being live streamed on the internet while staying at the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel in Hull. And I made the mistake of revealing on the live stream podcast that I was at the time staying at the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel in Hull, causing some very amusing viewers of the live stream podcast to call my room immediately at the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel in Hull, and in one extremely creative piece of banter, to send bananas and yogurt to my room at the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel in Hull via an Asda home delivery. I had an only semi-exaggerated and extremely potassium-heavy breakdown and very little sleep before the following morning I was due to interview local football hero Dean Windass about his mental health on a pedalo boat for the first episode of a travel show which has not been recommissioned by the Dave Channel. So those are a couple of high points from the last few years of my life.